You're sure you know your third-grade teacher's name? It's like you're hovering over it in your mind, but it just won't appear. Researchers call this teasing trouble a tip-of-the-tongue state, and it's something everyone experiences. But what's really happening when a word gets stuck here? And how can you best get it out? Most of the time, our brains easily pull up words from huge stores of knowledge, matching their meaning and sounds, and putting them into sentences. But in a tip-of-the-tongue moment, this finding process goes off track, and there's the feeling of knowing the word but still struggling to recall it. In these moments, along with the usual brain activity linked to word retrieval, we also see other brain regions light up, like the conflict-detecting anterior cingulate, which creates that urgently frustrating feeling. It's unclear whether the target word is directly noticed and just not successfully recalled, or associations are simply helping the brain figure out that it has the word. The truth could also be some combination of these ideas, but the experience is pretty consistent with how psycholinguistic theorists think we mentally organize language-related information, going from the word's meaning and associations to how it sounds. Some researchers think that the last layer of information, sound, might be the most likely to glitch. Lots of things seem to affect how likely you are to enter a tip-of-the-tongue state, all the way from what kinds of words are involved to your experiences and environment. For example, tip-of-the-tongue states happen most often with proper nouns, rarely used words, and ones that are more abstract and less visual, like idiosyncrasy or revelation. Mentally, recognizing a face and connecting it with general information, like someone's job, is often easy, while names tend to trip us up. And pulling up the wrong words is also a common problem. Like if you're trying to remember the name of the star of The Wizard of Oz and keep getting stuck on Dorothy instead of Judy Garland. In these situations, the words seem to act like distracting, red herring-like blockers in the retrieval pathway. And one study found that stressful test conditions made participants report more tip-of-the-tongue experiences, suggesting that environmental conditions, including stress, can make them worse. But some people tend to have more tip-of-the-tongue moments than others. This seems to be true for people who speak multiple languages, perhaps because they know more than one word to describe the same thing. So a word in one language might become an interfering blocker for the target word in another. This seems to be especially true when someone's switching between languages, but it might also depend on their fluency. One study suggested that people who learned their second language before age 5 had fewer tip-of-the-tongue slips. And sometimes even just hearing a language participants didn't know has proven to be enough to increase their tip-of-the-tongue incidence. They also seem to rise with age, perhaps from a decline in speech-related brain areas, greater accumulation of knowledge to search through, or a combination of both. But while tip-of-the-tongue states may feel like the brain is failing, they seem to have a positive function. Words don't usually go past the point of no return and get permanently forgotten so much as they tend to get harder to access. That hard-to-shake, tip-of-the-tongue feeling of success waiting just around the corner may help motivate us and make us more likely to remember. And researchers have observed that participants in tip-of-the-tongue states are more likely to spend more time and effort searching for answers. One way to get something off the tip of your tongue is cueing. This means leaning into the clues your brain brings up, like related memories and letters. For example, if you're trying to remember the name of the ancient city with the legendary Hanging Gardens, you might recall they're one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and go through the alphabet to see if any letters stand out. Because tip-of-the-tongue moments don't seem to be just your brain babbling, but perhaps trying to jog its own huge memory, where your third-grade teacher's name is surely stored somewhere.